every weekend. Millions of people willingly poison themselves and somehow calling it relaxing. Because alcohol is one of the only substances on earth that can make you feel more alive while slowly shutting parts of your brain down at the exact same time. At first, it feels warm, social, even euphoric. But underneath that feeling, your organs immediately switching into emergency mode. Your nervous system starts losing control and your body begins fighting to keep you alive. And what's strange is that most of this happens long before you actually feel drunk. So what is alcohol really doing in your body minute by minute? And why does something that feels so good leave your brain and body in survival mode by the next day morning? Imagine it's a late Friday night. You had a long week. Your friends are finally free. Music is playing in the background and someone slides a cold drink across the table towards you. At first, nothing feels dangerous about the movement because drinking alcohol has become so normal that most people never stop to think about what's physically happening inside their bodies after that first sip. You laugh, take a drink, and feel the cold liquid burn slightly as it goes down your throat. A few moments later, everyone starts losing up. Conversations become louder. People seem funnier and the stress of the work begins fading into the background. Within about a minute, alcohol reaches your stomach where part of it is absorbed directly into your bloodstream. The rest moves into your small intestine which absorbs alcohol even faster. If you drank on an empty stomach, the effects begin accelerating almost immediately because there's nothing slowing absorption down. But if you recently ate a large meal, your body gains a little more time before alcohol fully spreads through your circulation. Either way, the outcome is the same. Within minutes, alcohol molecules are traveling through your blood and entering tissues all across your body, including your brain. What makes alcohol unusual is how easily it crosses protective barriers. Many harmful substances struggle to enter the brain, but alcohol passes through with every little resistance. At first, this seems harmless, but it isn't. Because your brain is already starting to sacrifice coordination, judgment, and reaction time long before you feel drunk enough to notice danger. And that delay between awareness and awareness becomes one of the biggest problems with alcohol. Around 10 minutes later, your blood vessels begin widening. Your face may start looking slightly red or flushed, and you feel warmer as blood rushes closer to the surface of your skin. Many people interpret this as alcohol warming the body, especially in cold weather, but the opposite is actually happening. Because while your skin feels warmer, your core body temperature is quietly dropping. Your body is moving heat away from vital organs and towards the surface, which creates the illusion of warmth while increasing heat loss internally. At the same time, alcohol begins interfering with communication between neurons in your brain. Your speech becomes slightly less precise, your reflexes slow down, small movements become less coordinated. You may not notice these changes yet, but the side effects are already measurable. And here's the dangerous part. Your confidence usually rises faster than your actually impairment, which means the more your brain loses accuracy, the less capable it becomes of recognizing its own mistakes. About 15 to 20 minutes after drinking, alcohol begins triggering the release of dopamine and serotonin, two neurotransmitters heavily connected to pleasure, reward, and emotional comfort. Stress feels lighter, social anxiety weakness, conversation flow more naturally, music sounds better, and problem seems further away. For a brief period, alcohol creates the illusion that it's improving your emotional state. But here's what's interesting. Alcohol is not creating happiness. It's chemically interfering with the system that regulate emotional balance and inhibition. At the same time, dopamine rises. Alcohol suppresses activity, in prefrontal cortex, which is part of the brain responsible for judgment, decision making, impulse control, and long term thinking, which explains why people under the influence often making choices they would never normally make while sober. While your brain is reacting to alcohol emotionally, your liver is dealing with a completely different problem. To your liver, alcohol is not a relaxing drink, it's a toxin. The liver immediately begins trying to break ethanol down into less harmful substances so it can be removed from your body. But there's a major limitation. The process is extremely slow. On average, the liver can only process roughly one standard drink per hour, sometimes less depending on the person. Which means if you drink faster than your liver can process alcohol, the excess begins building up in your bloodstream. But the process becomes even more complicated because alcohol doesn't disappear cleanly. During metabolism, your body converts ethanol into a chemical called acetaldehyde, which is actually more toxic than alcohol itself. And this molecule is linked to inflammation, circular damage, and increased cancer risk over time. So even while you're enjoying the night, your body is already producing compounds it urgently needs to neutralize before they cause harm. Around 20 to 30 minutes after drinking, another system begins malfunctioning. Your brain reduces production of hormone called ADH or antidiuretic hormone, which normally tells your kidneys to conserve water. Without enough ADH, your kidneys begin releasing far more fluid than usual. That's why drinking alcohol makes you urinate constantly. And this is where hangovers truly begins. Because every trip to the bathroom pulls more water and electrolytes out of your system, gradually dehydrating your brain and body. Blood volume drops. Cellular process become less efficient and your organs start opening under increasing stress. Many people think the hangover begins the next morning. In reality, the hangover starts while you're still drinking. And because alcohol also disrupts blood sugar regulation, your body begins swinging between dehydration, inflammation, and energy instability all at the same time, which leads to a bigger problem. The more intoxicated you become, the less likely you are to recognize the physical warning signs your body is sending you. Eventually, the night ends. You get home exhausted, collapse into bed, and assume the worst part is over. But your brain still hasn't recovered. Even though alcohol makes people feel sleepy, it severely disrupts sleep quality, especially REM sleep, which is one of the most important stages for memory processing, emotional regulation, and physical recovery. That's why people often wake up after drinking feeling mentally exhausted even if they technically slept for several hours. But brains spent the night struggling through fragmented sleep cycles while dehydrated and chemically imbalanced. Meanwhile, your heart rate stays elevated, your stress hormones fluctuate, and your nervous system remains under pressure for hours after the last drink. And because REM sleep is disrupted, dreams can become usually vivid, emotional, or disturbing. At first, alcohol seems like something that helps people relax, but biologically, your body spends the entire night fighting against it. Then comes the next morning. Your mouth feels dry, your head pounds, your stomach feels unstable, and anxiety suddenly hits harder than expected. Part of this happens because your brain is dehydrated. Part of it happens because your blood sugar dropped overnight. But another reason is psychological. The dopamine surge from alcohol is gone, and after artificially pushing mood related chemicals higher than normal, the brain temporarily swings the opposite direction, which can leave people feeling anxious, irritable, emotionally low, or mentally foggy. Some people call this anxiety. Occasional drinking in moderation may not seriously damage the body for many people, but repeated heavy drinking changes the equation completely. Alcohol can slowly reshape the brain's reward system itself because repeated dopamine spikes teach the brain to associate alcohol with relief, comfort, confidence, or escape. Over time, the brain begins depending on alcohol not just for pleasure but for emotional regulation. And that's how addiction slowly develops. The same substance that temporarily make people feel fear is also forcing the body into survival mode behind the senses. If this helped you understand what alcohol is actually doing inside the human body, share this video with someone who still think getting drunk only affects them for one night. Because sometimes understanding the biology changes the way we see the habit itself.